A bloody night recorded here in the capital as the country's murder count goes up by 2. Police working hard to solve murder cases, and the Bahamas Christian Council meets with the vaccine committee. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. It's Friday, March 12th. Thanks for staying with us. A bloody evening last night here in the capital as police investigate 2 separate shooting incidents, the first leaving 4 persons shot and one of them, a 10-year-old boy, succumbing to his injuries. Reports are that shortly after 9 p.m., officers were called to the scene on Finlayson Street in the Baintown area. Here's Assistant Commissioner of Police Solomon Cash.
Unfortunately, we are investigating the death of a 10-year-old male victim. In this incident here, we had 4 persons shot. One of the males succumbed, and there were 2 other males, juvenile males, who were also shot, along with an adult. The investigation is early at this stage. We don't have all the full details as to what transpired here. We have a team of investigators in the area who are probing and speaking to persons that live in this area to see if we could unravel what really happened here at the scene. But we are appealing to members of the public who live in this area that if they have any information that they can contact the police. Particularly they can contact the Central Detective Unit at 502-9991 or 9910.
It's reported that the other 3 victims, an adult male and 2 young boys believed to be between the ages of 7 and 10, were transported to hospital via emergency medical services in serious condition. ACP Cash added that the victims were shot inside their home with their mother and grandmother reportedly inside as well. Police are currently not following any significant leads at this time. Now, while police have not released the identity of the young victim, Jcn's news team understands that he is Kenroy Dean, a student of the T.G. Glover Primary School. Now, just 1 hour later, police were called to another shooting incident, this time leaving 1 man dead. Preliminary facts indicate that shortly after 10, police were called to Badger Lane off Cox Street, Fox Hill. Press Liaison Officer Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters was on the scene to give reporters more details.
On the arrival of the first responding officers, they met a male lying on the ground with apparent gunshot wounds to the body. Following the examination of the EMS personnel, the body was pronounced lifeless. Information is that this male was standing in front of his residence when a lone gunman approached him and shot him before making good his escape. That is the information we have thus far.
According to ACP Peters, police have no reason to believe this shooting and the shooting in Baintown, which left the 10-year-old child dead, are related. Police are not following any significant leads at this time. ASP Peters also wished to make this public appeal.
This country belongs to us. If we want to live in a safer community, it's going to take the collective effort of everyone. Everyone is responsible for the reduction in crime. We cannot sit by idly knowing well that individuals in our communities possess firearms or are doing things that are illicit or illegal and not do anything. We would be responsible vicariously when we know that individuals have these criminal tools and not report them. So I'm encouraging individuals to be courageous, because the Bahamian spirit is one that is indomitable. We cannot allow this scourge to affect everybody.
Now, with just 2 murders last night, head of the Crime Management Criminal Investigation Unit, Assistant Commissioner of Police Solomon Cash says police have solved the majority of the country's homicides.
Majority of the homicides, with the remaining few homicides, we are following some significant leads. So much so that I can say the most recent homicide that occurred at Pinewood Garden, we are in a position now that we have already identified a suspected person with that particular matter. Again, these homicides were concentrated within the South Central, Baintown, and the Grove area.
ACP Cash also sharing some of the trendings, the 4 C's, as it relates to shootings and armed robberies.
The majority of our shooting incidents occurring in the South Central, When I say South Central, I'm dealing with Eggleston, the Grove. We obviously see an increase in the Southern Division. The Southern Division, I'm referring to Baintown area. Now we have noticed that in these shooting incidences, most of the victims are associates. With the armed robbery matters, similarly, we have noticed that most of these armed robberies are occurring within the South Central Division. Again, that is the Grove and the Eggleston area. We've also noticed that there are several armed robberies occurring at small convenience stores.
According to JCN's records, last night's killings pushed the country's murder count to 25 for the year. In our national COVID-19 health news, health officials confirmed 20 additional cases of the virus. These are figures for Thursday, March 11th. 8 recorded here in the capital, 9 on Grand Bahama, 1 on Abaco, and 2 on Bimini and Cat Key. There are 835 active cases in country, 17 of which are hospitalized. 16 are considered moderately ill, and 1 is in the intensive care unit at this time. 86 recoveries were reported on Thursday. The total in that area now stands at 7,626. The death toll remains at 185, and to date, 71,223 tests have been completed. With that said, the Bahamas Christian Council's COVID-19 Vaccine Investigative Committee, meeting with the National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee this past week, and presented questions regarding the vaccine, as there is much concern following international reports of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine being suspended in some European countries. JCN's Jcn Saunders spoke with the Bahamas Harvest pastor Mario Moxie, head of the Council's Investigative Committee, and files this report.
With the arrival of the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines and what seems to be a growing concern about the safety of the vaccines and its rollout, the Bahamas Christian Council met with the government's COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee on Thursday. JCN's news team reached out to the chairman of the Christian Council Investigative Committee, Pastor Mario Moxie, who presented questions during the meeting on behalf of the council. We asked Moxie what was the main purpose for the meeting, and he told us this.
The meeting last night was a private meeting, and the committee had put together a couple of questions that we just wanted to ask to compile our report. Our report is, we're in the process of preparing a report to present to the Bahamas Christian Council. And whereas we have not set a definitive deadline for the report, we anticipate that we should soon be done with that work.
Pastor Moxie says reports of vaccines that can alter a person's DNA is a major concern for the church, adding that once the council has completed its report on the safety and efficacy of the vaccines, the Christian Council will put together a policy position to share with its member churches. He, however, has this bit of advice for Bahamians and residents.
So I would just encourage everyone to get as much information from credible sources. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet but it's not credible. There's a lot of mistrust and suspicion, and rightfully so, but we need to make sure that we're able to get our information from credible sources.
Dr. Merceline Dahl-Regis, Special Health Advisor to the Prime Minister and Chair of the COVID-19 Consultative Committee, led Thursday's panel discussion. Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernanda, Bishop Patrick Pinder, Archbishop of the Catholic Diocese, and Bishop Leish Boyd Sr. of the Anglican Diocese and other religious leaders also attended the meeting. For JCN News, I'm Jcn Saunders.
You're watching JCN News. When we return, tourism officials quashing claims of breach of its travel health visa website, and it's a long wait time for U.S. visas. Stay with us.